It's What the Truck Wednesday, and it's just me, Russell, in this truck right now. But me and Tom are going to get together, possibly tomorrow, and we're going to go through some Nissan Frontier questions that we get asked all the time. We get tons of phone calls, tons of emails, and this is going to just kind of be a frequently asked questions video. And I hope that this will sort of be like the definitive 411 on the Nismo off-road products, especially the wheels, tires, and 1.5-inch lift kit, as well as the shocks that Nismo offers, because there's a lot of misleading information. Nissan's got some cooked in vehicle fitment information on some of that stuff that's not right. Our website does have a little bit more information in the descriptions, but if you're one of the people that's, shops on our website sort of the way you should, you put your VIN number in and you go to the 1.5-inch lift kit and it says, hey, this doesn't work with your truck. And that's probably not true. So I do appreciate you guys calling. You shouldn't have to take time out of your day. You should be able to hit order. That's what we want. We want it to be easy for you. But I'm hoping that if you found this video and you're out there shopping, you can head to our website, nissanparts.cc, and maybe feel a little bit comfortable about buying stuff, a little bit more confident that you're getting the right thing. I'll have links in the description and all the stuff me and Tom talk about. But yeah, let's just do some driving around in the snow.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've been in here to the video, for sure. As I stated in the beginning, I wanted to go through this lifted Frontier, show everybody some of the components, answer some questions, show and tell kind of situation. And first off, let's jump into the components of the 1.5-inch lift kit. This is a 2025 Pro 4X long wheelbase, and it has the 1.5-inch lift, wheels and tires. But looking at the kit itself, you get the block spacers for the rear leaf springs, new U-bolts, which, looking at these pictures, the U-bolts just look massive, which they are pretty big.
Yeah. It's nice that there's not a bunch of threads left sticking out the bottom like.
Yeah, it's a purpose-made kit. Yeah. And then if you go, we're going to go to the front suspension. You'll see you get new, alignment components for the suspension. And then I've had a few questions. Tom says nobody's ever asked him this, but I've had a couple people ask me about the bump stops, the bump stop extension plate. And if you look at our photos or look at any kit photos online, you'll see those because they have a Nismo logo on them. Mm-hmm. But you don't see them on the truck. They're installed. You wouldn't even know it's there unless you went looking for it. You would think that plate is just part of the bump stop, where it's not. So
it's funny they would put a Nismo logo on
it. I know we've talked about that before. It's so weird. And then I got a shot here of the top strut spacer, which you really can't see just because it's kind of nestled up in that coil bucket. And then. Yeah, I get asked a lot. I hear Ethan get asked a lot if, will this lift kit work on my truck? If you've got a Nissan Frontier from 2005 up, it'll work on your truck. Doesn't matter
if it's Pro 4X,
King Cab, Crew Cab, two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, it does not matter. It'll work. So, like I said at the beginning of the video, I've been trying to get the fitment updated officially through Nissan, because their fitment's incorrect. I just looked on Nissan's website and it says that this lift kit works for a bunch of cars it doesn't work for. So, yeah, just
it's always good to ask.
Stick with us. So I think the biggest question, does it rub?
Yes, it does.
Does it rub?
Only in one specific situation and condition.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we've experienced. And going back to the tire and wheel combo really quick, because that's going to kind of play a role in this. We've got Goodyear Territories on this truck, 285/65 R17 mud terrain tires.
And that's the largest size tire that we've personally had experience with, right?
Yeah. And then the Nismo off-road wheels, which the wheels are the same size, offset, everything is just a stock wheel, so that's not going to play a factor in it. But the thing that I noticed was that when you're backing up with the wheel turned full lock all the way to the right, you get a little bit of rubbing. And it's not bad. Like, I looked at the shield, and it's not even leaving really any marks on it, and you could probably trim that piece if you really didn't want to deal with it, but it only does it in that one instance. As you can see in the videos, I pull forward, wheels turn both ways, do, the tires, everything, and it never rubs.
And is it rubbing against a plastic piece, or is it rubbing against?
Yeah, there's a little plastic piece. It's not I thought maybe it was the sort of air dam piece. But there is a shield on both sides in the fender wells that is I think one side it's like kind of sort of protecting the battery, and something else I didn't get too far up in there. But it's the same on both sides, because my thought was like, okay, does the passenger side not have that shield? Maybe that shield doesn't stick out like that, so it doesn't rub it. But it does. It's got the same exact shield. So I talked to our service manager, and he said that it could be caster differences per side with the new alignment. It could be the geometry of the rack and pinion, and it's just a little. That's the thing. I mean, we're talking millimeters.
And with stock tires, it would not rub.
No. Yeah, it definitely wouldn't rub with those. Do you still get a lot of questions about the coil bucket contacts?
I do, and I always refer people to the many videos that we've made. It will make contact. For regular everyday driving, it does not appear to make any kind of contact, at least on any of the trucks that we've done.
Yeah.
You've had to make it. You've had to make contact by flying over speed bumps at 40 miles an hour, and then it made a contact. And it is so in extreme conditions. Yeah. Which I think going over a speed bump at 40 miles an hour would be an extreme condition. And then off-road, too, you may experience that contact. But it seems to be fairly minor based on the sounds that we're hearing.
Yeah. And I feel like if you were off-roading in extreme enough a condition to where you would cause coil bucket contact with this level kit, the 1.5-inch lift kit probably ain't right for you. You probably need something a little bigger anyway.
Right.
But, install the Nismo control arms, and you'll get away from that. That won't happen anymore.
We'll see.
It'll avoid it. One thing I know, in some early videos, we had some complaints that we had mentioned we were going to do some measuring, and we did, and it just it never really materialized and got in a video. So I went ahead and did all that. I got a ton of shots. We got the front end, in which, Tom says he notices a difference right off the bat from the front end. The Frontier, to me, just looks like the lifted truck looks like a bigger truck.
Right, yeah.
But height-wise, it's kind of hard for me to really tell until I start looking at, things like the mirrors. And then you can really see.
That almost looks like a good 3 inches.
It really, it looks like a lot more. And it's so interesting because it does make the truck look bigger.
Yeah.
It looks more brawny. It looks like it's been in the gym for a few months.
Right.
And, its little brother didn't go.
Right. It is. And now these are parked side by side. Is the black one also a long bed, or is that a short bed?
It's a short bed, but I did line up the rears. That way there was no perspective.
Okay.
And these are both Pro 4Xs. I wanted to make sure we were comparing apples to apples here. And then we love doing the front end smooch and nose to nose, which you can see. You start looking at the the lights and everything. You can kind of see the differences. And then I think probably the best one is the tailgate.
Mm-hmm.
Comparing the tailgates together, it's extremely obvious. And then going through now this is the most scientific way we know to do this.
Yes.
And before you ask a million questions about controls on all this, listen. This is what you're getting today.
This is the best you're going to get anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, go look around. Let us know what you find. So the lifted truck, the rear arch in my scientific method was at 38 inches, and then the front is sitting at 36. Now the standard truck, the rear is 35 and a half, whereas the front is 34 and a half. And you know, I was telling Tom that I went back and was digging through some data from Nissan, and I did find a statement in one of their listings that said that this is supposed to level the front and rear out, but it doesn't.
Right. It still has a rake.
Yeah.
It just seems like it's less pronounced.
Yeah, and we also, you know, we sort of poked holes in that. Will it settle?
Right.
You know, if you put a minor load in the back, and we haven't done that. You know, what if you put 100 pounds in the back? What happens? Where does it go then? Does it level it out? You know, or does it take 600 pounds to level it out? You know, that'd be, you know,
right.
Nissan.
I mean, I don't know why you would want a perfectly level truck anyway, because there's preload in those springs.
Yeah.
So if you're using it as a truck, and if you're going to be using this thing with a bunch of camping gear in the back, you want that.
Yeah, you don't want that sag. That's right. It's terrible. It's going to be awful for you. And you know, the thing is that yeah, I mean, what's the obsession? It's not like it's, you know, a dramatic rake. It's very subtle. And with the wheel openings on the front and rear being different, they're not the same. They're not at the same height. It you know, I don't feel like it looks that dramatic anyway.
Right. Yeah, I don't understand the obsession with it being like perfect level as well either, but
yeah. So
to each their own.
Hopefully that answers all your questions. Do you have anything to add?
I did want to say that the upper control arms, they are sold as a pair.
Yep.
I had a gentleman come in yesterday, and he has the D40 Frontier, and he was asking if there's anything that he can do to improve the turning radius. There's nothing that I'm aware of. I mean, I'm sure there are modifications that can be made. If anyone that's watching the video, leave a comment if you know a way of improving that turning radius.
The turning radius in the Frontiers is abysmal.
Yeah.
It is. When I was in that Armada, a little foreshadowing here, in that Pro 4X Armada, I'm willing to bet that the turn radius in that is less than the Frontier.
Really?
Yeah. I had to do like a 20-point turn yesterday on a Frontier trying to move it. It really is. It's awful. One of our lot attendants, or not lot attendants, one of our techs, grabbed this Frontier and was nice enough to put it on the rack for me over the express loop so I can get some shots of it. And one of the first things he said to me was, the turn radius on this truck is awful. I was like, it is. You know, try pulling it into a narrow, you know, a door in a closed-in space in a parking lot where you don't have a lot of room. Yeah, it's awful. But it is what it is. If you drive the truck, you know. But I think the next time we revisit these lift kits, I think we need to get into the front and the rear shocks. I've had a lot of questions about those, but that's a whole nother video, I think. I think there's a little bit of information I need to learn on those. But yeah, get in the comments. Let us know, what did we miss?
Yeah, I'd like to hear if you have the earlier Frontier, the D40, and you put this lift kit on your rig, are you experiencing the rubbing with the tires? And if so, what size tires are you running?
Yeah.
And if you have pictures,
we would love to see.
We'd love to see pictures of a D40.
Yeah, we haven't done any.
All right.
Which is, maybe we need to work on that. There's a lot of Frontiers in our area, so I'm surprised somebody hasn't come through and been like, let's do that.
Right.
So, thank you guys. Take care.
See ya.